Ogechi looked at Ikenna and before she could thank him again, he interrupted her. I have accepted not to force you to dance outside your hut, and I will not attend any dancing ceremony, but it is on the condition that you will be my TikTok wife. You have 24 hours to decide to be my TikTok wife, or I will end this marriage. 5 years ago, there lived a girl named Ogechi. Ogechi was a beautiful and talented dancer who lost her parents in a fire accident. She was a natural born dancer like her mom, but she has never danced outside her hut since the death of her parents. She lived a quiet and humble life in her hut that has become the only stage that does not make her feel guilty. Her uncle Chijioke was a very kind and loving man who tried to get Ogechi married to the men he felt could bring her lost happiness back, but Ogechi rejected them all. So he and Mesioma his wife decided to use Ogechi most precious possession, her hut, to threaten her. Ogechi, you have 14 days to choose a husband or pack out of my inheritance, said Uncle Chijioke after summoning her. Ogechi was surprised by her uncle's demand but knew Uncle Chijioke never carry out an empty threat. So Ogechi started her search for a suitable man who would agree to marry her on her terms and conditions. At first, the men in the village were super excited to apply to be her husband, as she had chosen a day for any man who is interested in her to visit her hut. The men came fully prepared to make her their bride, but the instant Ogechi mentioned her condition, they all started to leave one after the other, and soon there was no man left. Ogechi, having lost hope, started preparing to leave her hut, as the next day will be the 14th day. However, the next morning, Ogechi was woken by the sound of a drum. She looked through her window to see what was going on, but could not find anyone. So, following the beat of the drum, she started dancing. She was so engrossed in her dance that she did not notice the drum sound had gotten closer. Ikenna, Jane, and Uncle Chijioke watched her dance beautifully until the drum came to a stop. Ogechi looked up to see her uncle Ikenna and Jane, her best friends, smiling at her. She felt embarrassed as she had never danced in front of anyone since her parents died. Uncle, I guess it is time for me to leave, Ogechi said as she went to carry her belongings, but was interrupted by her uncle. Congratulations, Oge, you've gotten a drummer as a husband. You indeed have chosen well, and I believe you will dance again. Ogechi did not understand what Uncle Chijioke meant, but obeyed Jane's signal to keep quiet. And immediately Uncle Chijioke left, Ogechi began. Jane, what is the meaning of this now? What just happened? And how did I become married to your cousin overnight? She asked, rushing her words. And with a smile, Jane told her how Ikenna, after hearing she would be leaving her hut, had flown all the way from the city to her uncle to pay her bride price, and he was ready to accept her condition if she accepted his condition. Ogechi, with gratitude in her eyes, thanked her and her new husband Ikenna. Ogechi had known Ikenna, Jane's cousin, for a while, but their relationship hasn't ever exceeded exchange of greetings. But she trusted him because he was her best friend's cousin, and her best friend has been looking out for her whenever she comes to their village for holidays. Coupled with the fact that he was the first drummer who had made her dance like she used to, and so she felt safe. Jane, Having watched how excited the new couple were, quickly gifted Ogechi an Android phone, as Ogechi had always wanted to communicate with her whenever she goes back to the city. Ogechi, happy to have gotten the best marriage gift ever, jumped excitedly as she bid her best friend goodbye. Ogechi looked at Ikenna, and before she could thank him again, he interrupted her. I have accepted not to force you to dance outside your hut, and I will not attend any dancing ceremony, but it is on the condition that you will be my TikTok wife. You have just 24 hours to decide to be my TikTok wife, or I will end this marriage, said Ikenna, leaving Ogechi in shock. She could not believe the sweet drummer a few minutes ago could be so strict and is even threatening her. She dashed out immediately to look for her friend, but discovered Jane had already left for the city. So she rebooted the phone Jane bought for her, and the first app that caught her eyes was TikTok. She hissed as she dialed Jane's number, and after the third ring, Jane picked up. How could you, Jane? Why didn't you tell me your brother's condition before you let him pay my dowry? Now I am stuck with a street drummer who wants me to be his TikTok wife. Ogechi lamented over the phone, and Jane smiled at the other end, knowing Ogechi wouldn't have any choice but to do what her cousin wants. And to avoid being caught in the plan, she convinces Ogechi to give TikTok a try with the promise to speak to her cousin if she does not like the experience. So, Ogechi began her TikTok journey with her street husband. Ikenna would drum outside her hut while she remained inside her hut dancing before the camera to the sound of his drum. Ogechi was beginning to enjoy making her dance video while Ikenna continued drumming from outside her hut. But one day, something unusual happened. Ogechi, who used to dance only in her hut, got carried away by the melody from Ikenna's drum and danced to meet him outside. Ikenna was shocked to see Ogechi dancing in front of him, but did not stop drumming. In fact, he felt inspired by her wonderful dancing move and drummed more with all his heart. And when he finally stopped, Ogechi realized she had danced out of her hut, and with tears in her eyes, she rushed into her hut and closed the door. And for days, she did not do any dance video. She would often sit in front of her hut with a sad expression. Ikenna initially did not want to be the one to force her to dance, but after noticing how sad she had become after she stopped dancing, he approached her one evening to give her some friendly advice. Oge, what is the problem? It has been 2 weeks since you stopped dancing, and all the dance videos you did have already been posted and are even performing better than I expected. Ogechi, your fans are beginning to ask after you, and I don't know what to tell them because I do not know what the problem is, said Ikenna. Ogechi, with red eyes, looked at Ikenna and said, you are the problem. All you ever care about is TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. Please, I'm tired of your nonsense and I don't want to be your TikTok wife anymore. So just leave me alone. She finished and walked out on Ikenna. That evening, Ogechi called Jane, and as usual, Jane did not pick up on the third ring. So, she decided to wait till Jane returned her call. Ogechi was already getting bored as it has been 2 hours already. So, she picked up her phone to dial Jane's number again, but mistakenly clicked on TikTok app. She wasn't happy to be on the TikTok page, but her curiosity got the best of her. She wanted to confirm what Ikenna had told her. So, she went to check her profile I was surprised to see she had gotten over 50,000 followers in just 3 months, and one of her videos that got 1 million views got her attention. She clicked on it, and to her astonishment, it was her last dance video. She tried to get her mind off the fact that a lot of people loved the video she regretted making, and telling herself the truth, Ikenna indeed did a great job, as her dance video were well cut out and edited. No wonder I have this much view. Let's check out the comments. Ogechi curiously said, and the comments were filled with people complimenting her dancing steps, and some even pleaded for her to do a dance tutorial to teach them how to dance. And she smiled, but soon stopped. She felt bad for shouting at Ikenna when all he had ever done was make her happy. Jane, having close from the construction site, saw Ogechi's missed call and returned the call. Ogechi was crying at the other end of the phone as she narrated what happened to Jane. Jane, having listened, advised Ogechi to not cry anymore but to go look for Ikenna immediately. Ogechi began searching for Ikenna but soon got distracted by the sound of a drum. She traced the sound to the river bank and could visibly see the drummer staring at the river as he let out his heart into the drum. The birds, as if enjoying the beats, sang uniformly, causing Ogechi to start dancing. She danced away until she got close enough to see the face of the drummer, and Ikenna, sensing a presence in his midst, caught sight of her and immediately stopped drumming. Ogechi badly wanted to run away as she felt guilty, but something kept her rooted to that spot. Ikenna smiled at her despite having decided to end their marriage. He had loved Ogechi from the very first day he set his eyes on her. He had secretly wished and prayed to get married to her one day, but did not dare tell anyone as he was the heir to his parents' empire in the city, and he was scared of his parents not accepting Ogechi. So he kept his feelings to himself and humbly drummed for his grandmother. However, when Jane informed him that Ogechi will be losing the only place she had ever danced on since her parents died, he decided to step up and get married to her without informing his parents. He wanted to see Ogechi shine her light as a dancer to the world, and not only in her village. So he made up his condition to favour that part of her, and he never regretted it until the disagreement that happened that day. Ogechi could not control her tears as Ikenna said to her, "You now know why I married you and how I really feel about you, but as you previously requested, I will leave you alone." Having said all he wanted to say to her, Ikenna walked past her, not looking back, and this made Ogechi wept bitterly, regretting having said those words to a man who had given her nothing but happiness. She blamed her tongue and sat down to think of the moment she spent with Ikenna, but her thoughts were soon interrupted by the ring from her phone. The words from the phone pierced her like a dagger, making her run like a madwoman through a bushy path until she got to an hut. Ikenna, 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 please don't go. Please don't leave me alone. Please, you are the only family I have left. Please stay with me. I promise to be your TikTok wife. I promise to dance for you and not let the death of my parents stop me from dancing. She was still trying to catch her breath as she had spoken really fast, but she did not hear any sound. So she bursted into fresh tears, hitting her feet on the ground. Suddenly, someone embraced her from the back, and she turned to see Ikenna smiling at her. Ogechi was shy to see Ikenna, as she had already confessed her feelings to him. She blushed under his embrace, and that day, Ogechi and Ikenna went home happy as they now know how they feel about each other. Ogechi started dancing willingly without pressure before the camera, beaming differently as the song from her lover now sounded more amusing, making her get more followers on TikTok. Ikenna, happy that Ogechi was happy, decided to show his face in her dance videos, and as Ogechi followers watched her dance as her husband drummed, they loved it and could not help but share her videos, enabling her to gain more and more followers. People from all parts of the world followed her and wanted to be just like her. Ogechi, the TikTok wife, is now an influencer with 2 million followers on TikTok, traveling all over the world with her husband. I blame myself for years for the fire accident that killed my parents and wished I never went to dance that night until my darling husband Ikenna came into my life. He helped me heal and taught me to forgive myself. And so, I dedicate this award to him, my late parents, my best friend Jane, my uncle and auntie, and to all my fans all over the world. Guys, it is your turn. Tell me what you learned from this story, and I hope you enjoy it. Please do not forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share this story with your loved ones. Thank you so much, guys. Till next time. Bye.